So last year when I went to open my hot tub, I couldn't get it to heat up properly, and so this hot tub that I have is a resort, and it was made in 2005, so that's more than 20 years old. And so I went to heat it up, it wouldn't heat up, and so just kind of threw some parts at it. There's two different thermometers, so one goes on the heater and then the other one goes in the tub. So I replaced both of those thermometers, put new ones on them, temperature probes, I guess what you call them, and I can't remember the different names of them, but replaced those. That didn't work. There's a flow switch on that opens and closes when there's water flowing, and so I replaced that flow switch, and that didn't fix it. So I replaced the heater. So the heater on this old one is called a trombone heater. That's what they just refer to these as. This is a trombone heater. This is an old style. You don't see this on many new hot tubs nowadays, so this is something of the past. So that's what I had, and none of that fixed my problem. So I figured that something was wrong on the circuit board on it, so I was gonna need to buy a whole new pack. So I'm just gonna show you how I retrofit this new pack in. So I got this Balboa BP, I think it's BP7 is what this is. So this is configurable for a lot of different applications. So what I have is two 1-speed pumps. So those are for the jets. So one on that side, one on this side, and I have a circulation pump, which is right there in the middle. So that flows water through the heater and into the tub and circulates. And then up in the corner, you can't really see it, there's a little box in there. That's an ozonator, or an ozone generator. So that's my setup for this one. This is configurable for many different applications, up to like 4 or 5 or 6, 7 pumps, I don't know. But if I only had one pump, I think this pack would be a little overkill. I think you can get a smaller version that doesn't do everything, but with this setup, this is what I got. And one thing I ran into was the connectors for the pumps are this old style, just like a 3-plug, kind of an odd little plug-in. That the new plugs to go into this one didn't fit, so I had to retrofit those. And the size of this hose right here is basically the plumbing that was all through the interior, basically from the circulation pump through the trombone heater, because it's so small, and into the tub. So that was my biggest problem with hooking up this system here. So I'll just kind of show you how I went about that. There was a lot when I just retrofitted into this piece. I just had to go to the part store and find all kinds of different fittings to make this size fit into this size right here. So I had to sleeve it with this plastic sleeve, but it's holding water, it's not leaking at all, so that worked out good. I just had to figure it out. And on this side, basically the same thing. I had to find some pieces to fit into the tube. So I had to enlarge the tube here that the water flows through. I found this at Lowe's on the shelf, so that was pretty easy. In the plumbing section, they've got a hot tub hose. It's flexible. So I think that's 1.5 inch. They say on there somewhere, yeah, 1.5 inch. So I had to find a little bushing to fit and plumb all that in. So to make that fit, but it's all holding water, so it's good. That can be found at your local stores. At Lowe's, had it on the shelf. So the problem I had when I first did it, I didn't initially do this. I just used the old plumbing that was in there and fit it all in. It wasn't getting enough flow through the heater, so the heater tube is inside this case, so that metal part flows through. So the water flows through from the circulation pump through the heater and out. So this senses how much water is flowing through, and if there's not enough flow, it won't heat. It keeps it from burning the pump up or the heater up. So I had to open it up and get rid of that old tubing and get this bigger tubing and come through and around. So this old flow switch is not needed anymore, but I left it on there because it's a connector. So kind of the same thing here. I had to go and find enough to get it to neck down to this small tube. This tube goes into the tub, so I was pretty limited that this is. I didn't really want to tear the whole tub apart and get to the inlet going into the tub to change this to a bigger tube. But I found my biggest problem was, because even after I set this up, it still was saying it was not enough flow. So the ozonator is connected with this little small pipe. I don't know if you can see in there, it necks down on the inside down to a very small spot where the air or that oxygen, that ozone is generated into, which creates bubbles. So I just cut this out and just disconnected it from the inside, and that solved my problem. This was causing the restriction of flow more than anything, because you can't really see it, but it necks it down to, kind of see how it necks it down to a really small amount right there, and then it widens back out on the other side. So don't have an ozone generator anymore. I just disconnected that. I might be able to hook it back up in some capacity later. It's not a necessity. So that's how I got my heater to work and the flow to work. So I didn't really want to do this job. I reached out to hot tub sales and service people around. Didn't have anybody close. Called several. They were not willing to travel to my area to work on a hot tub. Found one that said that he would. Said, great, put me on the schedule. Get down here, we want this thing fixed. Oh yeah, 3 weeks out. Never showed up, never called. Call him back. Oh yeah, I'm a couple weeks out. Just carried on and on. You know, drug me out for over 2 months. Obviously didn't want to come. So pretty popular YouTube repair for hot tubs on YouTube. Owns a business in my area. So I was very disappointed in that. But anyways, this can be done yourself. So you know, I just did it. One of the things that I ran into was those connectors. So the new style connectors are in there. You can kind of see it's a flat 4 wire connector, and so I had to cut the old connector off, and I just ordered those on Amazon and wired them in. So there's little metal pins on the inside that you have to wire in and connect. So if you do it that way, or you can order new wires that have those connected, but I think they were like $50 or $75 per wire, and that's for the 2 pumps and the circulation pump and the ozonator. Turned out I didn't need the ozonator, but anyways. But you can order a set of these connectors and wire them in yourself. But if you do that, you want to have the little kit to de-pin those wires in case you wire them wrong. It took me a while of searching and trying to figure out, because it doesn't really tell you on your wiring diagram what order the wires need to be on that connector. So on this one, the neutral wire, the ground wire's on the top. The ground wire's on the top. The white is the second below it. I skipped a space for the third one because I have a 1-speed pump, not a 2-speed pump. So I think that's a red wire would go there, but I don't have a red wire. And then the black wire is at the bottom. And so that's how these connectors, that's right there, are wired in. So on this one, pump 1 is right here. It's hard to see. It's hard to see through all those wires. That's pump 1 right there. And then this is my circulation pump, pump 2. And so that's kind of detailed on the wiring diagram that comes on the back of the cover. But I did have trouble finding where pump 2 went. I thought pump 2 went here at the end, and the ozonator beside the circulation pump. So that's where the ozonator would go. And but pump 2 actually goes right here on the front. So that took me a little bit of figuring, because I couldn't find that specific on the diagram. Yep. So this gives you a good look at this connector I was telling you about. So I just wired in. There's little metal pins on the inside, and it comes with the kit. So if you buy these, so this is the male end of the plug, and the kit probably comes with male and female sides, so you can get both sides of the connector, so whichever one you need. So make sure you wire it up to the male. There's a flat end on the back side, is flat, so the flat goes to the right if you look at the female plug in there. And so you just wire the pin in, the interior of the pin into the wire, and then just when you put it into the connector, it locks in. And then if you need to take it out, you need the tool that goes in the top side that lets you take these out. So I would order the depinning set before you do this, or order a bunch of extra ones in case you wire it wrong, because getting those pins out without the tools really probably halfway impossible. This is my ozonator plug, and I've just unplugged it and left it in the box. It's not hurting anything in there. And so the main power coming into the box is wired up right here, but there's the grounding bar is over here. So the ground wire goes over here, so it goes inside and then through to the outside, and then the neutral, red and black, go right here on this little bar. You can change. I think this came set for 240, but there's a way to change it if you've got 120 power. The box will kind of show you all that. So I didn't have to get into it, so I don't know the specifics. I didn't look into it. The light, it comes with a new light, so it shows you on the box where that plugs in, and it came with a new keypad, whatever you call this thing. So this is a whole new set. So take the old one out and just install this one. It doesn't look too bad. It works. That's all that really matters. So this can be done. You can do it yourself. There's a lot of different configurations. Just showing you mine and some of the problems I ran into. So the ozonator seemed to be the biggest problem with the flow. I had to just delete that. I may try to put it back in later, but just want to show you the problems I ran into with my setup, and show you it can be done. You can get it fixed.